Hello and welcome back to the Terminal Demo Series. I'm Hannah with Lightning Labs, and this is a series where we walk through using Terminal, your all-in-one node management tool from health checks to auto fees, loop pool, and more. And in this video, we'll talk about a cool new feature called Peer Insights, and that's exactly what you might expect it is. And so I'll show you how it works. If we look over here, I have Terminal Web pulled up, and I have connected a mainnet node to it, and you can see we're over here on the Explore tab. So once we have a node connected to Terminal, we now get all kinds of additional information about other nodes on the network, and specifically about nodes which we are peered with, which we have a channel with. So let's start by looking here at this list. We have, as always on the Explore tab, this list of top performing nodes, and we can scroll through it, and now there is additional information about these nodes available. So if I scroll down here until, here we go. At number 107 here, I found this node, and it has this little tab here, which gives us additional information. So I can hover over that, and that tells us, hey, this node has open liquidity orders. Very cool. And we'll talk about more about that in the pool video. But we could keep scrolling through here, and we would find on various different nodes additional little tabs that would tell us a bit of information about that particular node. For example, we might see a little tab that says, oh, this is a peer, right? And tell us that we are peered with that node. So that's cool. But let's come back up to the top here. And what we can also do is go and search for a node. So this could be any node on the network, or we get even more information if it's a node that we are peered with, that we have a channel with. So what I'll do here is I will paste in the pub key of a node that I have a channel with on this particular node I'm connected to now. So I will paste that in, and we'll go and look at all the data we get from this. So straight off the bat, we can see, it passes its health checks. I'm connected to it, right? It's my peer. Then we get this basic information about the node, the capacity, age, number of peers, centrality score, etc. The usual stuff we would expect. And we'll come back to this really cool chart here in just a second. But we can also scroll down and see the usual stuff we would expect. It tells us how many channels this node has, and lists those channels for us. It shows us the health checks that it has as well. So we get lots of information about this particular node. And here, as this node is our peer, and we have a channel with it, we get additional information about our interactions with this particular node. So you can see here we have one channel open between the node I'm connected to and this node. We have done a total of 3 forwards here, but somehow managed to forward 1.4 million Satoshis in that process. That's cool. And we have earned 136.5 Satoshis. Cool. So this is some interesting information that gives us some insight into our interaction with this particular peer. And so this data here will appear when you're looking at a node that you have a channel with, have at least one channel with. So now let's scroll back up and let's look at this really cool fee distribution graph here. It gives us a ton of information about the fees on a particular node. So this data is available for any node on the network. This is public information, right? Just looks at that node and the public channels on that node. This is all just pulled out of the network graph. And so you don't have to be peered with a node to get this particular data, to get this insight. But let's have a look at what we can see here. We can see along the x-axis that what we have is the fee rate. So over in this corner, we have channels listed with low fees, and over in this corner, we have channels with higher fees. Then along this y-axis, we can see these numbers here, and we can see this corresponds to the number of channels open on that node. So this node has 16 channels, and that's reflected here in our graph. We see about that here. All right. Now we can look at the fee rates set on these channels that this node has open. So let's hover over this. You can see this is broken up. So on the top of the y-axis here, we have inbound fees, and on the bottom, we have outbound fees. So if we hover over this, we can see that on this node, there are 15 channels open that have a fee rate, an outbound fee rate of between about 660 and 1,000, right? And then there's one channel with an outbound fee that's pretty low. Also, if we look at inbound fees, you can see we have 5 channels with a pretty low fee. We have another 6 with slightly higher fees, 2 with higher fees still, and then we have these 3 channels, which are kind of outliers all the way over here with this one that has relatively high fees. Cool. So that gives us a ton of information, and this is interesting to us as this data may inform how we set the fee rates in any channel that we have open with this particular node. So you can see this gives us a ton of information on other nodes, particularly our peers, and this is now all available here on the Explore tab. So once again, with this new feature, once you have connected your node to Terminal, you can come over here to the Explore tab and get all kinds of insight, all kinds of data on various nodes on the network, particularly with nodes that you are connected to, you're peered with, and you have the channel with. So very cool stuff. And as always, don't forget to check out the docs at docs.lightning.engineering. Thanks.